This is the best weighted calisthenics training split that nobody talks about. But first, before we get into this, we have to go into why the traditional way isn't as good. Now, this is just a basic, bare bones routine, and we're only focusing on the push day because we're only focusing on 1 days, just so I can explain this easier and it's not a ton of information overload for you. Basically, what happens traditionally in a 7-day split, which is called a synchronized split. A synchronized split, and what we're going to be talking about later, an asynchronous split, is going to be not conducive with the days of the week. This is the days of the week. So you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. This is called a synchronized split because it's synchronized with the days of the week. Typically, what you would do is you would have like a push day on Monday, and then you would have a push day on Thursday. Notice here how there are only 2 days of rest, though, in between these 2 push days. So you would either have to lower your volume on this Monday, so you'd have to do less total sets, less work. You're not able to train as much on this Monday, or you're under recovered, which is a big thing in weighted calisthenics because of the amount of tendon damage that you get compared to sports like powerlifting or bodybuilding, because the absolute load is a lot higher. And to put that into more simple terms, it's going to be more of like an advanced type thing. And if you don't understand these phrasings, I'm going to simplify them more for you just so it's not confusing. But basically, when you're doing body weight reps, if you're able to bench, let's say 200 pounds, for example, and you weigh 200 pounds as well, it's not that uncommon to where you're able to do a couple body weight dips. So yes, the weight that you're moving is the same, but you're able to move a lot more of it because of how the leverages in your body work. So you're able to do more dips even though you weigh 200 pounds than you would for a bench press, for example, still moving 200 pounds, just in a different way. Now, if you can do a couple dips, that means you can do at least 1 dip with some added weight. That's even more tendon damage, and this is the thing that's going to ruin you if you're not recovered properly. Because if you're sore, if you have extra muscle damage, if just things aren't feeling right, if you're extra stiff and you're just under recovered, like I keep mentioning, then that can lead to you getting hurt, and you're not going to get as good results as you possibly can. This isn't very good because this Monday, you do your push day, you have Tuesday, Wednesday to rest, and then you hit it again Thursday. You're either not going to be able to do as much volume as you would be able to normally on this Monday, or if you do enough to properly give you the best stimulus you can for that given day, which is your strength stimulus or the muscle growth stimulus that you're looking for, by Tuesday, you're not going to be recovered enough. And then when you do your Tuesday session, you're going to get extra recovery because it's extra days. This is not best. This is the old way, and as science progresses, as training information progresses, shouldn't have thrown the notebook, as these things progress, we do things different ways. This is the best training split. It is called an asynchronized split, and I'm just going to give you an example split that's perfect for not necessarily like specialized routines. So if you're into weighted calisthenics, if you want to get better weighted pull-ups, weighted dips, and you also do a leg day, this is absolutely perfect for you. This isn't accounting for skills or accounting for anything, but you can still take some principles from this, so don't click off quite yet. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to set days and you're going to use principles that you already know in your head, so you can build your own program like this, or you can just copy this one because this is perfect fundamentals. But basically, just going to go over this program. You have a pull day for day 1. You have a rest day in between, because if you don't know, your chest is actually used on pull-ups if you're using proper form, and on chin-ups as well. Because when you pull, your elbows come in, and that squeezes your chest and actually makes it a little bit sore. So if you do a push day the day after, then you're not going to get your best results. And also it's easier to get injured because you still have a little bit of muscle damage. It's not a lot because it's only the squeezing part. If you don't know the different types of muscle contractions, you have concentric and eccentric. Those are 2 out of the 3. I'm not going to go over the third one because it's not important here. But concentric doesn't make you as sore, which is the squeezing part, as the eccentric, which is opening up. So when you do the pull-up, when you close in and then you come over, if you're using proper form for weighted reps, if you don't know, now you know that's how you do pull-ups. And that's why we have the rest day in between, to ensure you're being recovered. Then you have your push day. You do your push day, you do your weighted dips, you do your incline work to target the upper chest just so you don't have any weird imbalances. You can do your isolation exercises, just enough to where you're recovered by the next push day. And then after this, you do your legs, and depending on how much volume you do, you can take an optional rest day. That's why it's crossed out. This split is best, and I've been using this for almost a year now exclusively, because you can fully customize your entire routine. You don't have to be limited to such a small structure. You can do 2-day like 2-day cycles. So in this way, it'd be called a cycle. So this 5-day cycle would be one cycle. If you were to do 10 days of working out, that would be 2 cycles because it's a 5-day split. The only thing this isn't good for is if you're confined to a schedule. And even then, the only way or the best way to just counteract your busy schedule, I'm going to get in frame now. The best way to counteract your schedule is literally just wake up early in the morning, get your pre-workout going, get your water going, your food going. Just work out in the morning before you have your daily responsibilities. This split is more so for people who care about training and have it as a very high priority for them. If you're a student, if you're a young entrepreneurial, if you're just a younger person specifically, a younger guy specifically, who has more free time and wants to get into calisthenics, this is best. This has taken me and some of my clients from 0 pull-ups all the way to 100 pounds plus on weighted pull-ups and weighted dips also. This exact routine. This is what I preach in my training programs, and the people in there have amazing results and are gaining amazing results as I go further and further into the programs. If you're curious on that, there's links down below. I have a school community where I sell all my programs, and there's also a bunch of free stuff in there. So that's cool. If you like free stuff, you just have to make an account and join, and you get contact with me if you find me helpful. You watch 7.5 minutes of this video. I don't see why you wouldn't want to speak to me. Like, come on, awesome, I'm cool. But that is everything. This is the #1 split because it's purely customizable. There is no reason why someone wouldn't want to use this now that they know that it exists. Because even if you make a 7-day cycle, cool. If you miss a session, usually, let's say you do Monday push, Thursday push, like we just mentioned before. If that's your normal cycle and it's throughout the days of the week and it's dependent on, it's Monday I do push, if it's Thursday I do push. If you're sore, if something's weird, if you got bad sleep, if you're just not feeling it that day because something happened, if you injured yourself in a weird way, you either have to skip that session up until that Monday or that next Thursday, so you have to skip it entirely. With this asynchronized method, with this just day-by-day basis method, you can just save it for the next day, and your entire routine won't get skewed. It won't get messed up at all because it's not dependent on the day of the week. It's not dependent on the rest of the world. It's dependent on you, which is one major thing I preach in my community is self-accountability, taking control of your life, things like this. It's a mixture between self-improvement and calisthenics, and if you're interested in either of those things, join the community. I have paid programs where you can become stupid strong at calisthenics, prepare massively to learn your first skills, and very shortly you will have courses on how to learn your first skills, because I can do like handstand push-ups and muscle-ups, or something about weighted muscle-ups with 30 pounds. Anyways, that has been everything. Go to the link in the description. Get all my courses, get all my programs. Buy coaching, even though I don't sell that. Just give me money. Okay. Cheers. Go to the next video.